what I have come to see is that, the ego will put out that fear when you're at the edge, but we can reframe that and see it as excitement, because now you're at the edge, ready to expand. And, if you follow your heart instead of what the ego is telling you, you break through that. And so that's what I would say fearless is listening to your heart and soul rather than your ego's attempts to keep you limited.
Fear stops us from achieving our true greatness. Are you a professional woman who is feeling stuck, unmotivated, or burned out? Are you worried about your wellness? Are you letting fear stop you from crushing your goals? If you answered yes to any or all of these, then this is the podcast for you. Dr. Charmaine Gregory, night shift emergency physician, burnout thriver, and wellness champion, along with everyday heroes just like you, will explore how to face fear in our lives and emerge victoriously.
Hey, thanks for checking out this episode. Be sure to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you get notified when the next video comes out. It only takes 2 seconds to make 2 clicks. So let's do it. Let's get back to the video. Hello, Fearless Freedom Tribe. This is Dr. G, and we are back for another episode of the Fearless Freedom with Dr. G podcast. Today, we have all the way from Hawaii, Suzanna Kennedy. Suzanna, you have to tell us all about yourself and what you are up to.
What I'm up to lately is creating some new courses. I have one called Sacred Union. And it's about the sacred union with yourself first. And then once you have that sacred union within, then you can start to attract sacred union relationships, all kinds of things with your soul, with other people, with the universe. So that's what I've been working on lately. My background is in a way long time ago, about 20 years ago, I was in the corporate world and I was an instructional designer. So I lived in the Detroit area. So my clients were auto companies. And I started to get this feeling like, I don't know that I was put on this earth to teach guys how to run a car dealership, like what really is my purpose? And I got a very unusual answer to that question. So one morning I woke up, it was a Saturday morning, and this energy was just pulsing up my spine. It was real fiery and electric and scary. And I kind of yelled out and said, "Oh my God, what's happening?" And I heard a voice answer me, and it said, "You're giving birth to yourself. Just breathe." So I did the Lamaze breath because I had 2 children. That was the only breath I knew. And it did help me to cope with it, but it did last for about an hour and a half. And when it was done, I felt like a completely different person. So I was like all of a sudden connected to this expansive beingness that I understood was me. And I understand that all of us are that. But then I could also see this, what looked like a computer program to me, a bunch of computer programs that were who I thought I was before, like my self-identity, my ego. It looked like a computer program. And I knew that if I didn't get rid of that program, that I was not going to be able to be who I really am, that I just got opened up to and do what I came here to do, which was, I really felt like now I had a mission. Wasn't exactly sure what it was, but I knew I had to find out and start doing that. So the voice stayed with me to guide me, thankfully. And I found a way to clear that subconscious programming, that self-identity that was created for all of us in our first 7 years of life, and that, those beliefs create our reality, and that those events that it creates, are sometimes painful. And so we accumulate the pain, and, it just keeps us very limited unless we figure out how to clear that out. So I created a program that helps people to do that. And that was, about 20 years ago. And so I've been, people have been doing that for 20 years, thousands of people, and being able to come out of that limitedness, and, get fearless and, be able to do what they came here to do, which, everybody is needed to remember who they are and what they're here to do, and then have the courage to move forward and do that.
Wow. And so when this was happening to you, was there any fear involved?
Yeah, there was. But I had that guidance, and that helped me a lot. And what I have seen over the years is that the fear comes from that self-identity program, that ego program. It has a comfort zone. And when you get to the edge of that comfort zone, it uses fear to keep you in its comfort zone. Now, it's not necessarily your comfort zone. It's from the mental realm, which doesn't feel. So you could be very uncomfortable in the ego's comfort zone, and your heart isn't being satisfied, your soul isn't being fulfilled, So what I have come to see is that, the ego will put out that fear when you're at the edge, but we can reframe that and see it as excitement, because now you're at the edge, ready to expand. And, if you follow your heart instead of what the ego is telling you, you break through that. And so that's what I would say fearless is listening to your heart and soul rather than your ego's attempts to keep you limited.
Awesome. And right now, so that's how you got through that phase when you had that moment of enlightenment, and then you changed paths. But what about now? Like, how are you facing any fears at this point? Like now, 20 years into this, are there any fears that you were facing, and how are you going about that?
Yeah, well, I think every time, you expand, and then you integrate that expansion, and then you're ready for the next level. And so, you're still going to face that fear when you get to the next level, because your soul is calling you to expand and maybe do things differently. So, recently I felt that, but I just recognize it as, oh, I'm ready for another expansion, and I don't let it stop me, really, or at least for not very long. Now it's about, well, what am I going to expand into? What needs to change? And that just takes some inner reflection and connecting with your higher self and seeing what the next thing is, and then taking that step. So that is what happened recently, because it was, I think, August 8th, 8/8 is when I got the message that I needed to upgrade my emotional mental detox program that I had been selling successfully for 20 years, and that it needed to go up to the next level, and I needed to do it much more quickly, get people through it much more quickly, and and do it very differently. So it's like, oh, now what? I'm not really sure what all that means. But, after doing some meditation and trying a few things out, I figured it out. And I did the pilot already, and it was very successful. So I'm just refining all of that, and actually revising a lot of other things as well based on that. So all of my programs are getting upgrades.
That's great. And so how long do you have people go through the program? You said that you have to do it more expeditiously. Is it like a long program originally or?
Well, the emotional mental detox was 6 weeks, and it was a digital program that you could do on your own. It was self-paced. And then I had another program that was called Divine Human Upgrades. I still have it, it's still there. But that's 12 weeks. So that's 6 and 12, that's 18 weeks if you go through it 1 week at a time and don't take
Right.
any breaks. So I think with the Sacred Union reprogramming course, it's you get, I think, the same benefits in the 8 weeks. So, and then I just revised another meditation that I did, and that was like 50 minutes, and now it's 16 minutes. So,
Okay.
the energies and the frequencies are a lot higher, and so they can work faster and go deeper at the same time.
Got it. That's good. That's good. Okay. And then you have to let us know. So, okay, so from Detroit to Hawaii, how did that happen?
Well, I made a stop off in Sedona.
Okay.
So I moved from Michigan to Sedona. I was there for 2 years. And there I had been introduced to the deprogramming consciousness technology. And I came across it, from another gentleman. He was doing it, and it worked really well for me. And I was really impressed. So I certified in his method.
Okay.
But then when I got to Sedona and started doing his method, my higher self was changing it up and saying, we need you to do this differently. And they wanted me to make it graceful, because it wasn't really a graceful process. It was very, you were doing this breath work, and every time the breath would hit a block, the trauma that put the block there would be re-experienced. And it was, so you could only do one person at a time, and you had to give them a lot of support.
Okay.
So, but they wanted me to make it more graceful so that people could do it on their own, or that I could do it with a big group.
Yeah.
So that's when the triple flame activation came in. So that is a free gift on my website for anyone who wants to check it out. But what that does is it clears out the meridian pathways. So our life force flows through meridians and goes through our chakras and then to all the different parts of our body. And so when you clear that first, when you go to do an emotional or a mental detoxification, you're calling things up from wherever they've been hidden and suppressed, and they go into the energy meridians on their way out. So if they're cleared, then they don't have any resistance, and they go through really quickly and very easily, and you don't have to re-experience any kind of trauma. You don't have to process anything. You don't have to even remember what it was all about. It just goes through on your breath. It's really fast. And so, and that triple flame is, it's just very powerful. It's the energy of divine love, divine light, and divine creative power. So the pink, yellow, and gold flame that works in those frequencies work in synergy with each other. And I also have you connect with your higher self and go to that place where your creative authority is, where you're connected to the creator. And then that kind of guides things. So if you're a person who maybe you're depressed or anxious, and the triple flame will give you energy. If you're really keyed up and an ape type personality, it'll help relax you. So it'll do whatever you need to have done. So it's a wonderful tool. So I added that to the beginning of every process, and that just makes it really, really fast and easy and graceful.
Got it. Okay.
So so I did that in Sedona for 2 years. And then I came to Kauai. I was guided to come here. And I met I was here for about a year. And I started doing a lot of artwork. So this,
That's your
my
background?
backdrop is
Okay.
my art. So
Very nice.
I was doing that. And as I was getting the downloads to do it, that divine human upgrade program came through. So then I spent, about a year integrating those frequencies and understanding what they were, because they came as kind of a package of light that, my mind didn't understand at first. So I had to take time. It took about 9 months to integrate it. And then that's when the artwork started coming through. And as I would do a piece, then I would meditate with it, and it would kind of tell me what it was all about. And then I, took that and created a whole course called the Divine Human Upgrades. So after you go through the first course, the emotional mental detox, and clear away everything that you're not, then you do the divine human upgrades and start bringing in your higher self to embody. So I did that for a while. And then, and then I met my sacred union partner, and we had a real nice romance for several years, got married, and have been, just offering these programs and working with clients one-on-one, in groups. Some people use my my digital courses and do things on their own. So that's what I've been up to. Created my own little paradise here in Hawaii.
Very nice.
We live on a 2.5 acre property with trees all around and coconuts and our garden. And it's just lovely.
Very nice. Very nice. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. And so, so now the new course is coming out. Can you tell people how they can get in contact with you?
Yeah, my website is SuzannaKennedy.com. So that's Suzanna with a Z, SUZANNA, Kennedy.com. And I think when you get to the homepage there on the upper right, it says Sacred Union Reprogramming, which is the name of the new course. And I'm going to be starting that in January. And it's a group, but everybody gets one-on-one help throughout in the group context. So I can only have 15 people.
Okay.
So I have a wait list. So it's already partially filled. So getting on the wait list will give you priority for the January 15th course beginning. So.
Okay. And you said it's 6 weeks now versus
it's 8
18
weeks. Yeah, it's 8 weeks. So
it's 8 weeks.
Yeah.
It's 8 weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. And so what are your visions from beyond this? What do you think the next step will be?
Well, I think it's going to be for a while really supporting people to go through this change within themselves so that they can be ready for the change in reality that's coming, that's already starting. So all the old systems are falling apart, but at the same time, there's a whole new reality emerging. Mother Earth is raising her frequency, and she's moving very quickly. And so if we want to move with her and go into this new, more paradise type reality, we have to get rid of the third dimensional programming and all of the emotional baggage, because, like attracts like. And if it's a higher vibe reality and you haven't done that inner work, you've got to do that before you can enter. It's not anybody judging you. It's just your frequency has to match. So I feel like I'll be supporting people making that change as quickly and gracefully as possible.
Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. Well, Suzanne, this has been a great conversation. We are at the point in the show where we do our tradition, which is fill in the blanks. And it's interesting because you kind of started alluding to maybe what your answer is. I don't know. We'll see. But are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Awesome. The first one is, if I am fearless, I will.
I will keep following my heart.
Love it. The next one is, to me, fearless freedom means.
It means being able to expand past the limits, the previous limits that I set for myself. So being able to keep expanding and evolving.
Very important for continued growth. Absolutely. And then last but not least, my battle cry is.
I don't know. Life doesn't feel like a battle to me, but I can share my motto with you.
Okay, that works.
I love my life. It's great to be me. Just when I think it can't get any better, it does.
Nice. Nice. Awesome. Some good stuff. And so you have to let us know one more time how people can reach out to you.
Yeah, SuzannaKennedy.com.
Perfect. And that's with a Z, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Great conversation. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to spend time with us here in the Fearless Freedom Tribe. Thank you for sharing about what you do. Thank you for sharing about how you face fear. I believe that there will be at least one or maybe many more individuals who have been touched by today's conversation. So I thank you for that.
I thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of Fearless Freedom with Dr. G. Again, I'm Dr. G. And if you like this episode, be sure to subscribe so that you can get notified of when the next episode is going to be. And also, I'll catch you next time. Have a great one. Be strong, be brave, and unleash your greatness.